So this past week, women's college basketball was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We had LSU versus Virginia Tech,
Yep.
and Iowa versus South Carolina.
Very good.
What are your thoughts on those games?
So one game that stood out to me was the Iowa versus South Carolina. You said
Definitely.
something.
That game stood out like a sore thumb. That was a great game.
Yo, you said something funny to me in the text. Like, you like, yo, this reminds you of Glory Road.
Yeah.
The starting five, all black team, then the starting five, all white team stuff. One thing that stood out to me was how Iowa game planned against South Carolina.
Yeah.
Now, as we all know, South Carolina Gamecocks has been coached by Don Staley. You know what I mean? Hall of Fame WNBA player, Team USA, Olympic. You know what I mean? Also, she won a couple championships at South Carolina coach also.
Yeah.
And they were on a 42-game winning streak. So predominantly, people was going for South Carolina to beat Iowa. Yes. And that did not happen.
At all.
Iowa came out with a great game plan, which they basically foul line extended all the starter five.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Specifically one player, but, literally told you, you're going to kill us by shooting. Yes. You know what I mean? South Carolina usually uses the athleticism in the system, but Iowa game plan against them like, yo, we're going to force you guys to shoot. You're going to kill us. And the girls literally wouldn't shoot the ball.
I want to say, they didn't want to shoot the ball.
They didn't want to shoot the ball. You know what I mean? And as a basketball player and as a shooter, I find that disrespectful. You know what I mean? And then, you know what? It was a smart game plan, but you know what? As a player, no matter what, only to me, person who's good guarded like that is Shaq. You let Shaq shoot that. But as a point guard or shooting guard, you got to be able to shoot the ball.
But why is it disrespectful? It worked.
It worked, though, but as a player, I'm saying that it's disrespectful.
It is.
Like, you feel me? As a guard, you know what I mean? And even, for example, another player that used to get guarded like that in the NBA, Rajon Rondo. He played with the Boston Celtics. But the game evolutionized, you know what I mean? Point guards got to shoot, and Rondo started letting it go when he left the Boston Celtics. So that's what stood out to me by South Carolina, not only by, Iowa, not only by the individual player, you know what I mean, but also as a team game plan, as they all locked in and exposed South Carolina's weakness. How about you?
I want to piggyback off what you just said about that. So I feel like it was kind of disrespectful for them to leave them like that, but you got to make people play defense. If you're not going to shoot the ball, I'm not going to guard you.
Exactly.
So I'm going to back all the way up. They literally gave them a good 5 to almost 10 feet.
They Russell Westbrook though.
Yes, they said shoot it. And it's not even like it's not even a game where if you lose, you play another one. No, if you lose, you over, man. So they literally strategized against them, saying, we're going to make y'all shoot. Exactly. They're not going to beat us.
Yep.
Caitlin Clark is a beast, man.
Caitlin Clark, listen.
She's a dog, yo.
The female version of Steph Curry, and I enjoyed. She's a once in a lifetime type of player.
Yes.
And I'm actually shocked that she's going back to school next year.
Yeah, she's
you know what I mean? So I thought she would, go to the WNBA. But listen, first time ever, and I don't mean to be sexist with this comment, like, I felt like all the guys all around the world tuned in.
Yes.
Probably the most viewed NCAA women's game ever. You know what I mean?
The finals.
You know what I mean? So I thought that was dope. I felt like the world came together.
Yes.
With the match about how she was playing back-to-back 40-point games.
Yes.
And she's just a dog, man. I don't even see a weakness in her game.
I saw someone say online, basically, like before that game, before the Final Four game, he was basically saying she's the best offensive talent, male or female, in college basketball history.
Oh, wow.
And the way he broke it down, he said it before that game. Before she's always killing the whole year. Before she had that even big game in the Final Four, he said that. He was like, if you can compare, he said, before y'all say no, he's like, I'm going to break it down for you. You could say somebody scores just as well as her. He's like, that's cool. He was like, but if somebody can score and rebound like her, they can't pass like her.
Exactly.
If they can score and assist like her, they can't rebound like her. So he's like, that's why her game is all around. And when I thought about it, I'm like, he's right.
I didn't see no weakness at all. And she could knock down, shoot, got a handle on the swivel, and she gets her teammates involved too. You know what I mean? Even though it was a one-man show because they got exposed in the championship game.
They got exposed.
But you know what? I just thought that the camaraderie of the world and everybody loves the WNBA game. The Final Four, it was time for women to shine, and they definitely did.
So what do you think of the Final Four game? What do you think of the final game?
So the final game, man, listen, there's no iron team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not saying that she was jogging or anything, but she legit didn't have any help at all. You know what I mean? The girls wasn't as aggressive, and LSU was an overall better team. Yeah. And what stood out to me about LSU, though, the three-point shooter. Now, what do you think? Do you think that the Iowa should have game played different when it came to the LSU shooting those knockdown threes? Because one female, I forgot her name, she hit like she went 4 for 4, had 16 points after not scoring the last couple games.
How I feel about that is, I think you're only as good as your team is. So what I mean by that is, they can only play how they play. You can't make them play. Okay, we're gonna play man. They're making threes. We're gonna play man. Their strength isn't man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's clearly not their strength
at all.
Because one in man, you gotta actually move. You gotta guard. You gotta switch. You gotta do this. So in zone, you can stay in your area. You can hide weaknesses on your defense if you play zone. Now you can shoot someone out of zone, and that's exactly what LSU did. They literally shot them out of zone. But like I said, if your defense is bad or you have weaknesses in your defense, you can't just go to man because you're getting killed.
And also, what stood out to me in that game, I can't pronounce her last name, her center. Now her post
she was good though.
She was good, but she doesn't do no dribble. I've never seen that before. She literally post up and then move to the basket. She got into early foul trouble. Now it was a lot of saying during the game was bad officiating. You know what I mean? I just thought the girls were playing hard.
No, they were getting on the officials a lot.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was too bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a finals game, so people don't want to see the star players getting in foul trouble. They don't want to see that. And Caitlin Clark got in foul trouble early.
So her big man, big girl.
But like I was telling my dad when we were watching the game, I'm like, listen, stars know in big games you can't get in foul trouble
at all. You gotta be
no star gets in foul trouble. Jordan doesn't get in foul trouble. LeBron literally never fouls out.
Very good.
You know what I mean? So I'm saying like. The most talented people never foul out. They never get a foul trouble. They never foul out.
And also, too, like, they were game planning and the sports guys were saying, like, she likes to push up a lot when she goes off the screen. Yeah. So I see one offensive call, that they gave her. I would have never called that in the game. It's just a high-stakes game, but overall, too, even to go back into the defensive scheme, I think Iowa was scared for one-on-one against Reese from LSU. Reese, she's a dog. She's a dog. So, now, I think it was dope just to see all genders, all races come together for women's basketball, because a lot of times women's basketball get a lot of slack.
They get a lot of slack. People try to clown. I'm not watching I'm not watching the women's game. I'm not watching this, but they show that they can ball, man, without dunking, without doing all that stuff. And they tough. They tough dogs. But
man, can't fake the tape.